great to be here today. I want to start off this afternoon by asking you, have you lost your touch? I want you to do something for me in a minute. When I count to 3, I want you to find someone near you and give them a hug. And yes, I said give them a hug. Ready? 1. You may have to get up for this. 2, 3. Okay, now how does that make you feel? I hear some goods, I hear some greats. I saw some people in the dark just sitting there. What makes us feel about touch the way we do? Some of you were sitting close to someone you knew and you felt comfortable. Some of you did it and you were going, oh, I can't believe I have to do this. Others of you didn't do it at all. So where do we get our feelings about touch? Well, we have our past experiences, we have our cultures, we have our families, we have all these things that go into this touch. So I'm wondering, have you lost your touch? My name is McAninch. I've worked with young children for over 30 years. And for the last 9 years, I've been here teaching students how to be teachers. When I was asked by a colleague a while back, if you had the chance to talk about something that you were passionate about or you think may be missing from early childhood or something, what would it be? So my immediate thought was forming relationships. I think that's so important when you're working with children, and as I have worked with now college students, I've realized it's very important in that area also. So I sit there and I think about those relationships and I think about loving them, touching them. Oh, wait a minute, touching them? I think most of us here would agree that, yes, building relationships is important, but what we would not agree on is touch a part of that building relationships. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. It was a really nice, pretty day, much like this, and I woke up all excited. I've been a teacher for 15 plus years, and I was getting to go to a workshop. You know, those things that you're supposed to go to and you're supposed to learn how to be a better teacher. So we got up and we were all ready and we were sitting back at our back tables, very anxiously anticipating those wonderful words that were going to help us in the classroom. And then it happened. I hear these words. Okay, teachers, you have got to stop touching your children. Our society today has changed and you may not touch your kids anymore. Well, okay, wait a minute. We kind of looked around at one another, all the teachers sitting there, all these nurturing, loving teachers. And we're like, did he really just tell us that we got to stop touching our kids? You're going to tell me, this school mama, that I cannot touch my babies? Well, my mind shut down that day. And I didn't listen to anything, but I always had a saying, if I leave a workshop with just one thing that's going to help me be a better teacher, then it's a good day. Well, I did leave that day, and my parents sometimes say I was a little bit rebellious, and I was. I went back to my classroom, and I think I touched my kids more after that day than I had before. So let's think about that touch. So I get to the point and I'm looking here and I'm thinking about today and I Googled the word touch. What do you think I found? I found touchpad this, iPad this. Touch. That's what it pulled up on the computer. What does that say about our society now? I'm like, oh my goodness. Do you know that they are trying to create things and already have where you're shopping online and you touch a dress you like and you can feel the fabric? Fools our brain into feeling that. Robots for teachers. Let me ask you a question. Could a robot waddle behind a little boy with wet pants and take him to his mama's car so nobody could see his wet pants? Could a robot sit and rock a young child that was remembering the car accident that she had been in with her mother, where she had been badly injured and her mother was killed? What about these gadgets? We have them in our homes. Are parents sitting children in their lap and reading them to anymore? What is happening? Well, what does touch have to do with us? How important is it? We know that it helps in all the different stages and kinds of development. We know that touch can heal. I watched a friend of mine with their 6th son this week, his heart rate going up very, very high. And I watched Carolyn go over and stroke Ryan's face and stroke his head, and I watched that monitor go down, down, down. I know that touch has an effect on people. There have been some reports that professors in the classroom, the students, as they go by, if they just tap them on the shoulder or pat them in some way, those students participate and are more into the discussion. So when I think about touch and personally how it's affected me, I look into my little window, my memory TV, I'm going to call it, and I see myself as a young child. I see my dad rubbing my back to help me go to sleep. I see my husband grabbing my hand for the first time after I hear those words, "You may kiss the bride." I see myself holding my daughter and my son and my little grandson for the very first time as an infant. What a bonding experience that is. I see in my memory TV the last time I hugged and kissed my mama before she slipped into a coma. Touch has affected my life. Many times it affects us in positive ways and sometimes in negative ways. What do we do with that touch? I'm asking you to think about that. You've heard a lot of different things today. I hope you will hold on and ponder this question about touch. If we started touching in the classrooms, what would happen? Would our test scores rise? Would behaviors change in the classroom? What about our relationships, our personal relationships with other people? We know touch is important in that. What about you? I want you to take it from here and I want you to think about, how does touch help me? What would happen if I touched more? What if we put down some of those gadgets? What kind of changes would we have? So I'm going to ask you one more time. Have you lost your touch? I haven't. So, as we leave this place today, touch somebody.